Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Milos' story. And we are diving right back into right where we left off, as you were approaching the City of Jewels. A beautiful, well, stunning city, made of stone and gold, where the buildings loom high up in this massive cavern with artificial suns, creating light for all who live there. This city is massive, hard to comprehend, especially considering it is inside of a giant cave. As you look up at it and the road that approaches up to its main gates, what do you do?
It's so strange just to be walking into something with a scope that doesn't have a sky. Um, but just gonna just walk, I guess.
As
Moseying.
as you walk up toward the massive gates of the City of Jewels, your patron, in his minified form, is still on your shoulder, and you hear him say, "Remember, just be careful."
Well, I don't think I'm getting through those gates without talking to someone. So,
Roll me a D100.
45.
With 45, as you're approaching the city gates, at the moment you do see there are not very many people approaching the gates. In fact, you kind of feel isolated, as you are alone on this massively wide street made of stone, heading up to this open gate where there are two guards on each side of it. And as you're approaching, you notice that these guards are Earth Genasi. They are no bigger than you, though they are wearing full plate and each one has a glaive in hand. And as they approach you, the guard on the left says, do you speak Primordial?
I do not.
Okay. The guard on the left says, Nice. Horden.
Milos will say in Dwarvish, because that worked with the other people that he spoke to, because it was sort of a trade lingua franca. Milos will say in Dwarvish, and sorry, stranger here, I don't speak the language.
Outlander. In Dwarvish, the guard says, Fine. To access the City of Jewels, you must first answer a riddle. One of us speaks only the truth, while the other speaks only lies. And the other says, Gorik, I'm sorry. I had to say something. That second guard looks at you, and he says, Please excuse my fellow guard here. What is your business at the City of Jewels?
Sounds like being a guard might be running a little long today, huh?
You have no idea.
Well, I am venturing into the city to see if I can make contact. I guess it's trade. Close enough trade.
Here for trade. Have you any to vouch? And as he says that, your patron simply says, Me. And the guard leans in. And you feel a wave of magic crash out from the Zaratan on your shoulder. And the guard takes a staggered step back. And he says, yes, fine.
Sorry, we're usually taller.
I understand. Let them through. And the indignant guard, the one who first stopped you, frowns, looking at the other one, but does step back, and you are allowed entrance into the City of Jewels.
Thank you. I don't wish you anything interesting, because something interesting for you would probably be a crisis, but I have an easy rest of your day.
No, we'd like to remain bored.
Understood.
Kadashte. Which,
And
you
then
don't know what that word
I don't
means.
know what it means, but it seems like a farewell. And Milos will just kind of nod and head on into the city of jewels through these intimidating gates.
Okay. Excuse me. The City of Jewels. Has Milos ever been to Augur City or Priscillus or Silver's Reach?
Um, I'm gonna say I think he's been to Priscillus. I don't think he has been to Augur City or to Silver's Reach.
Priscillus is a seafaring metropolis. It is a massive town where trade, economy, commerce, all of it is spoken of the way commoners would speak of corn out in their fields. The town of Priscillus is booming, with a population nearing 1 million. This is so beyond Priscillus that it is almost insurmountable. You are looking up between buildings that are taller than you could even think would be built. The artificial daylight illuminates all the streets, and as you have passed through the walls, there are people milling about, going about their day. But these people are not the sort of people you expect to see. Most of them are large creatures. Most of them are Dao, Earth Ifrit, Earth genes that they almost thunder as they move throughout the streets, but there are so many of them and they all wear so many colorful clothes in different gemstone colors that their beauty is, well, it's mind-numbing.
Yeah, absolutely overwhelming. Milos will sort of edge to the side so that he's trying to get out of the way so that nobody accidentally like treads on him and his charge. But anybody looking at him can see that there's a hick from the sticks, like
You are
looking
also
around,
you are also
like
slightly ethereal.
right. So couldn't actually get tread on, but just feeling very overwhelmed by just the muchness of this much. And
Yes. And as you stand in this main street heading down one of the main stretches, at least from this side of the city, your patron on your shoulder, you hear him whisper, leaning over to you and say, "Remember, we must find Guteau."
one pebble in a desert. But well, if I'm going to try to find a particular Dao in a city full of Dao, I guess the first place that I would look is first place I can find that looks like a tavern.
We must also begin to work on your skills with Primordial.
Yeah. Yes.
The language of the ancients is important to know.
I must study it. I've learned languages before, but starting over at square one.
Your patron kind of settles down on his turtle haunches, just kind of sitting on your shoulder, looking back and forth. Why don't you roll me an investigation check as you search for a tavern in the City of Jewels?
17. Milo starts walking up the street.
So the first immediate issue, looking for a tavern in a town full of Dao and Jin, it's not easy to actually identify what you're looking at. Everything is written
Not like what I don't speak.
in Terran.
Right.
Harsh, blocky letters that are more almost hieroglyphic. But you're trying to take context clues from what you're looking at. And as you get more into the main street here, you find more and more individuals of similar height to you. You find many Earth Genasi. You find many, well, humans and elves. But they all look busy to the point where they can't really even stop to look at you. A couple Earth Genasi do notice you, but they don't say anything. They just kind of, their head turns as they spot you, as you are a curiosity.
Yeah, here's a weird ethereal-looking dude walking along with a turtle on his shoulder.
Right. However, for the most part, you are left alone as you make your way down the street. And it maybe takes 20 minutes, but you do eventually find not a tavern. Tavern's not the right word. It is almost an awning with a counter underneath it, and a number of Dao are seated on poofs around the counters, drinking
Like
and eating and speaking.
Caravanserai type thing. Okay.
There is an Earth Genasi behind the counter, and you see there is an Earth Elemental that is also behind the counter that is constantly shaking this massive iron cask.
Oh my god, it's an elemental with a cocktail shaker.
The Genasi looks at you, and in Primordial, it says something.
And once again, Milos will sort of nod and apologize in Dwarfish. I'm sorry, I'm an Outlander and I don't actually speak the language.
And the Earth Genasi looks at you in surprise, and it replies in Dwarvish, "Nice, that's fine. You do look like an Outlander. What are you doing here? How can I help you? Can you drink? You're very see-through." And he looks like he wants to reach up, but he doesn't.
Milos kind of holds his hand out and turns it back and forth, like he's offering it. I don't know. I don't think I can.
Okay. Well,
but I'm looking for someone, and I was hoping you might be able to help me find them.
Who are you looking for?
Milos will kind of look slightly to the side to his patron, and then he'll give like a little like tilted shrug, and he'll say the name.
Okay. The name is Guto.
Guto. I knew it a second ago. I just spaced it in the second that I needed it.
I need to make a roll. And I need to know what your passive perception is.
My passive perception is 14.
Okay. Guto. Well, he's all right. He's involved in silks and such, and luxuries. You'll find him up in the Ignatius markets. Do you know your way around the city, Outlander?
I'm afraid I don't, but I appreciate the. So that way? He kind of points.
It's more than that. You're gonna take. It's a good ways from here. It's about. And he gives you directions, and it is what feels like quite a march. It's probably going to take you a good 45 minutes. He says, if you get lucky and find a glide carriage, they could take you, but they don't generally cater to anybody but the Dao.
Fine, I can walk.
By the way, Outlander, stay inconspicuous. You're a curiosity.
I will try to stay inconspicuous, but I don't feel very inconspicuous. I don't suppose you have any advice for how to do that?
Stay off the main road. If a Dao is curious enough and they decide that, well, they want you, they'll take you.
All right, I will try to stick to alleys and such.
Yeah, be careful.
Thank you for the warning. I appreciate it.
The Earth Genasi kind of glances up at the Earth Elemental, and then goes on to the next individual who just steps up to the bar. It's another Dao who sits down. and you are, well, basically dismissed.
Milos is going to try to sidle in the. He's going to try to follow the directions, but he's going to try to follow both directions. The directions to get to the place he needs to go, but also the directions to try to stay off the main roads, nip into alleys, avoid being blatantly out there as much as he can.
So roll me a survival check and a stealth check.
Oh boy. Okay. Here's survival. Oh no. And then here's stealth. You know what? I'm gonna use my inspiration on that survival roll.
All right. Go ahead.
I.
Are you trying to read
Oh my god,
face?
it's even worse. It's even worse.
I'm sorry.
Okay, fine. It's fine. The dice have spake. There's my stealth.
Okay. 17's not bad.
Yeah.
9 is not great. So you're heading in the direction.
Survival is very. It's clear that whatever survival skills that Milos has, they are absolutely overwhelmed by this magnificent city that he is in, and honestly, that's fair. I tried to use my inspiration on it, but it makes sense that his dice would be like, nope.
Roll me a D100.
Okay. $68.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You. Okay, hold on.
I'm like mentally imagining some Pink Panther music now.
That's just an interesting turn. That's all.
Okay.
It's nothing crazy. I do need to check your character sheet real quick, though.
I'm in danger.
No. You're probably fine.
Oh, I remember I need to fix my sheet here because my proficiencies in languages says deep speech still, and we changed that last time to undercommon.
Okay.
I'm gonna fix that because I don't. Whoops, that's the wrong button.
Okay. As you make your way, following these directions and being as discreet as you can, you pass through alleyways and streets, staying out of the way, and for the most part, you slip unnoticed. Well, as unnoticed as you can. Most of the individuals who notice you are Earth Genasi or other humans and dwarves. There are a lot of dwarves here, which makes sense. Roll me an insight check.
Insights. Okay. Not necessarily the thing at which Milos is great. Oh, well, it's okay. 17.
The dwarves seem almost okay. The first thing you notice with that high of an insight is that there seems to be some sort of caste system here, where the humans appear to be the most commonly dressed. Simple clothes, linens, and tunics, and the ones that are wearing armor are simple leathers or padded armor. Cheap stuff.
So I'm sort of above my station here just by wearing my Maryguard shit.
You sure are.
Yeah, got it.
The next above seems to be the Earth Genasi. Many of them wear finer clothes, or their armor takes a lot more metal. And what metal armors they do wear sometimes have small gems encrusted into ornamental pieces. You get the impression Earth Genasi are commonly guards, or bodyguards, or escorts, those sorts of things. And then, above them, are the dwarves. The dwarves seem to be wearing finery, regaled in splendid, almost often violet or gold robes and armors and such. And in most cases, they all have beards. The beards are well tended and decorated with beads and gems, and their hair is clean and well kept, and they often smell of flowers and other perfumes and those sorts of things. And then, of course, are the Dao, which
Right.
are whatever they want to be.
Whatever the hell they want. Yeah.
Yes. You see some Dao dressed simply, and often even almost in toga-like uniforms, where they don't care how well dressed they are. They almost just flaunt that they don't have to worry about it. But there are some Dao you find that maybe they are high up in the guard, or there's a military here that you don't understand, but they wear these heavy raiments of armor made of rock and metal. And those who do wear that often have weapons that are massive quarterstaves with enormous stone heads on each end. Weapons that are intimidating just by brute force alone. You don't see very many edged weapons here. You notice that. Even the Earth Genasi and the dwarves that are armed, you see, are usually wielding hammers or picks or clubs and maces, those sorts of things. These are things you notice with that insight check. Finally, after a good hour and a half of walking, before anything else, I need you to roll me another D100 check.
Okay.
There's no check, it's just D100.
Right.
74.
I'm all over the dice today.
You sure are. Hold on. As you're making your way through the streets and you go through a cross section between alleys and a wider road, you see there is a group of Earth Genasi that are carrying a massive chest. This chest is gleaming brass on the fittings, and it is mostly wooden, it looks like. And it takes 4 Earth Genasi to move it, as they have 4 spokes sticking out of the edges of the chest that these Earth Genasi are moving. There is another Earth Genasi in front of them who sees you and says, in Primordial, something. But it sounds like a call to stop or a call to approach, like they want your attention.
Okay.
You can tell by their voice and tone of voice.
Milos will put his hands up, offer a little smile, apologetically, as is his general mien at the moment, and then again say in Dwarvish, "I'm sorry, I am a stranger here and I don't speak the language."
In Dwarvish, the Earth Genasi looks at you and says, "Understand. His Dwarvish does not seem to be as good as some of the others you've heard." He says, "Please, what are you here doing?"
I'm looking for a contact. Not here to cause any problems.
There is a long pause as this Earth Genasi looks you over. I need you to make a persuasion check.
Okay.
We do not trust outlander. I have not seen many with your look. And he tries to find the word as he's gesturing to you, being ephemeral. And he says, "Have you proof?"
Milos thinks about it for a second, and then he says, "I understand. It is a little unusual, and I am clearly here by magical means."
He nods. He understands what you're saying. He's just Not,
not as able to speak as
yeah.
he is to understand. And so Milos says, as far as proof, he thinks about it for a moment. I'm looking in my inventory to see if there's anything that I could show. Not really. My inventory is very silly, by the way. I'm not sure what proof would help, but I can say that as soon as my business is concluded, I'll go back where I came from, and I should have no lasting impact on anything here.
I do not know the nature of your appearance or spell. Can you take things? You see, he's like trying to. And one of the Earth Genasi that's holding the chest says, "Steal? Can he steal?"
I
In
don't
Dwarvish.
think so. I don't think I can.
Oh,
Not really corporeal. Can't take stuff with me.
if anything go missing, I find.
All right. I'm pretty sure I can't carry anything, but I appreciate that I am very unusual looking and that's concerning. I definitely don't blame you for being confused.
Is for your own good. Any Titan King angry.
I think stealing in this city would be a big mistake.
Yes. And he like points at you.
Milos kind of smiles and he says, I'm the son of a trader. I don't really steal anyway. But you have no reason to believe that. So I recognize that you're doing important work protecting the city. And I appreciate the warning.
They nod, and he says, "Karasti," and they begin to move on.
Karasti.
As
What does
you
Karasti mean?
do you say that in Dwarvish?
I kind of, yeah. Yeah, he does.
One of the carriers says, as he's leaving, he just says, "Smooth sands."
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Karasti. I've now learned a word.
You now know how to say smooth sands, which is kind of just a wish of good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Terran.
Nope. Well, Milos will remember that.
And they move on. They leave you alone. With that 19 persuasion, they do not hold you or confront you any further.
Milos looks a little relieved, and he's just kind of wipes at his forehead, and he goes, "It's funny because all I'm doing is saying the truth, but it still feels like I'm skating on glass."
They do not trust you.
They have no reason to. I'm a weird ghost man. I wouldn't trust me either.
You are here by magical means. Wizard mischief.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Tabernacle would call it mischief, but it is what it is.
They do not trust the conjurations, as many folk are taken against their will to be used in the prime material plane for their own spells. So, wizards are not trusted well in the City of Jewels.
Makes sense.
And that does all he says.
Milos will keep going.
Okay. You're almost there. I need you to roll me a d8.
D8. 4.
Okay. There is no further encounter. Now, the directions you received were how to get to Guteau. But he didn't tell you anything about where Guteau, like what Guteau's business is, what it looks like, just that
No,
Guteau
just
is
something
in this
about how in this
direction.
area there's luxury. He said something about luxury market, silks and stuff.
Yeah.
So Milos is vaguely expecting like a fancy tailor or like a luxuries trader, like somebody with a lot of bolts of silk and carpets and stuff. That's all that he's imagining.
Well, you do find a lot of things that are out and look like they're for sale. That's good. What isn't great is the amount of earth elementals that are just here. They're sliding around on the stone, slabs that make the floor of these streets.
They're like earth gliding.
Yeah,
And like skating. They're just like it's like earth elementals on roller skates, except there's no roller skates.
Yeah, they're very relaxed about it as they are sliding through, and smaller earth elementals gather around the large ones, almost as if they're families, as the spirits are enjoying their lives here in the City of Jewels. The massive market around you, the walls of the nearest structures are well over 80 feet high. It feels as though you are in an arena or a courtyard just from the high walls that surround you, but there are cross streets that come through here. It is just a section of the town. It's just a strange feeling as you've entered a relatively open area where things are being sold. There are massive racks of silk, but it's not just any old silk. It gleams with threads of gemstone passing through it, making all of these bolts of silk just almost glow with reflected light from the artificial suns above. These fabrics, these are the sorts of things you would expect to make brilliant magical clothing or armor or items. The sorts of things that would cost a fortune for just the material itself.
Too rich for my blood.
Too rich for most people's blood, you imagine. The sort of luxuries only those truly disgustingly rich could enjoy. And as you are looking around, I need you to roll me a perception check.
$22.
With a 22, the first thing you notice, there's a lot of Dow shopping through these racks of fancy silk.
Unless like somebody's gonna mistake me for merchandise.
That does not happen. What does happen is you see a Dow with black hair pulled into braids and is wearing remarkably almost anointed looking clothes, notices you, and in Primordial, they say something to you.
Milos gets that deer in headlights look for a second, and then bows respectfully and says, "I apologize. I don't speak that language in Dwarvish."
In Dwarvish, you hear in response, "Ah, a visitor from the Prime Material Plane. It is curious to see one projected, milling about just in the market square. Are you here shopping?"
Actually, I'm looking for someone. I have business with Guteau.
Oh, I'm sure you can find him around. I am Dysa. I am just a curious purveyor of unique and rare materials.
I'm honored to make your acquaintance. My name is Milos.
Milos. It's a pleasure. May I ask why it is you have a Zaratan on your shoulder?
Milos thinks about this for a second, and then he says, "It seemed like the most respectful place to put him."
Fair enough. I did not expect
Sorry.
that answer.
Sorry.
Are you looking for work, Milos, of the Prime Material?
Oh, thank you, but I am currently on an assignment.
That is a shame. I pay well.
I appreciate that. I don't know how much use I could be right now, honestly.
You are exactly what I am looking for.
Oh,
But if you are already occupied, I understand. It is rare to see one projected, as I said before, walking through the Ignatius markets. If you should change your mind, look me up.
thank you. I will remember that.
And best of luck. I believe Guto is probably holding hands with nobility.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He smiles at you and then moves on.
Milos is like, "Ah."
All right, roll me investigation as you look for Guto.
Looking for Guto. Well, that's not good.
Okay, roll me a d8.
Hi.
As you are making your way through the market looking for Guto, you suddenly feel the eyes of another Dao fall upon you. A tall Dao woman wearing gold, and her skin is that of tan clay. She is beautiful, as they all are. And as she sees you in Primordial, she says something lilting and high melodic. Before you can reply, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's a 10.
You suddenly understand what she said. As
Oh.
she said, "Oh, you look delightful for a human. I would love to have your aid back on my estate. What do you say? Why don't you come with me?" And you feel extremely persuaded to do so, as the charmed person passes through, really without any effort.
Yeah.
However,
I mean,
there is a moment's pause where you feel this magical influence take over you. You're not aware of it, except your patron stomps a little turtle foot on your shoulder, and you hear a voice in your head say, "No." And he dispels the charm.
ah,
You are aware of what happened, and the Dao, who had turned around, assuming that you were following her, suddenly realizes the spell is gone and looks back. Now you don't understand what she says.
in Dwarvish, Milos will give a little bow, and then in Dwarvish he will say, "I apologize, my lady. I am already on a mission for someone else, and my time is bespoke."
Roll a persuasion at advantage, because that was very well worded for what just happened.
As Milos tries to make it not his fault. Oh, hello.
Okay. The Dao woman, seeing you bow and your clever choice of words, she smiles, and in Dwarvish she says, "Oh, I understand. All right, I shouldn't have assumed. Best of luck to you and your master." And she continues about her business. Roll investigation to look for Guto.
Milos is just like, "Thank you." All right, that's better.
22. Looking for an individual when everyone speaks primordial is difficult. But you hear a conversation, and suddenly you hear, "Hey, what's going on?" You hear the name, and your ears perk.
Yeah.
And when you
like,
look,
"Huh?"
a couple of racks over, you see there is another Dao dressed very much in beautiful clothes and with long black braided hair, similar to the first one you saw, but he looks like this. And you see he's just finishing up business with another Dao who has arms full of silk. And as he turns around, what do you do?
Milos will watch to make sure that he isn't interrupting anything, and when it seems like Guto has just concluded business with the other Dao, he will politely approach.
It takes a few minutes really, as you watch as handfuls of gems are exchanged and measurements are taken and then linen is passed over. And finally, Guto seems to be freed up as he kind of wipes his hands. And then he turns and he sees you. And he says something in primordial.
Milos smiles and he says, "I apologize, sir, but I don't actually speak that language. However, I believe that we may have some business together."
Dwarvish. Language of trade. Okay, I can meet with that. Business, you say, with an outlander. An outlander burying a tiny Zaratan. How interesting you are. Well, perhaps a conversation should be had and one not out in the open.
I would appreciate that.
Come to me and let us talk. And he leads the way into a round stone building that is full of opulence and massive red velvets that just run along the walls. It is well illuminated in here by oil lanterns. It is warm and smells of cinnamon and honey. It is basically a joy for the senses in every way. But it is extremely tall, and everything around here has that way of making you feel small. Guto enters the building, gestures for you to follow, and then he heads over and sits crisscross applesauce on a poof, gesturing to a poof across from him, and he says, "Tea?"
Thank you. I'm not sure I can drink, but I appreciate the hospitality.
Of course.
Milos folds himself down across from Guto. He kind of clasps his hands in his lap, and he looks up at him, and as you see, my master and I are in a bit of a predicament.
I know who you are, Milos Orthandri. I had learned of your existence through, well, the Titan King's diviner. It's a long story.
All right.
I'm afraid I required your aid. You are one of the few mortals on the prime material plane that which has a direct connection to us here in the Earth plane. I learned of your connection through your Zaratan, your patron. I assume questions arise.
They do, sir.
Go on.
What aid would you need me for?
If you reach into your pocket, you will find a bottle If you check
All
your
right.
inventory, there is a bottle in your inventory that you did not put there. It is
Okay. I don't see a bottle.
on D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
I promise it's there. It's under
I
other
see
possessions.
other possessions. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry, I was higher up. I was in the backpack going, I have an interesting rock. I have a rockworm soul tier. Okay. I have a strange, misty-looking bottle with a soft cork.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You take that out of your pocket. It's in your hand.
This only raises more questions.
I am sure it does. The Titan King has many children. One of them, the least of them, by his reckoning, is Princess Dato. She wishes to not be allotted to the life of having her decisions made for her. And so she has asked me to aid her in escaping the City of Jewels.
Is that why I have a bottle?
She is in that bottle. A bottle that crosses planes, which is why you can touch that bottle.
Milos very slowly puts the bottle back in his backpack and
Yes.
closes it. And then he says, this is what she wants.
Correct. You
It is-
can say no, as you are no one's slave.
I understand. What? You said the least of the Titan King's children.
Yes. She is a mere Earth Genasi.
But he probably isn't too fond of the idea of her striking out on her own, which is why she needs to be smuggled out of the city in a bottle.
Correct.
Is this the price of helping my patron?
I'm afraid so.
Can I speak to her before I decide, or is this already...
I'm afraid that's not really... The spell has already been cast, you see.
I see.
If we were to open the bottle here, then she would be here, and we've
And
accomplished
that's not where
nothing.
she wants... I understand. Just... The idea of a girl in a bottle, just a little weird.
The least I can promise you, you have my word as a tradesman and merchant. I am acting on Princess Dato's behalf. This is what she wanted.
Can I insight that?
Yes.
Okay. Milos believes him. He has no idea.
Oh my god.
That's a fucking 2 on the die, so Milos is left only with his instincts, basically, because his perception is telling him nothing. Okay. I guess it makes sense that he would find this serious Tao somewhat hard to read. Milos kind of rubs at his beard and then says, Is there
Yes.
somewhere in particular that she wants to go?
I don't know. I know not here. I know the prime material, where the Titan King has no sway. Which is why she must be smuggled out by a mortal. One not native to this plane.
Is this going to have repercussions for my master?
I imagine he's very angry with me.
Yes, but is he going to... Is this traceable? Like, is the Titan King going to be angry with him?
I don't believe if the Titan King were angry with the Zaratan, it would matter. You must understand. The Zaratan, such as your patron, are not... You see, he's like searching for the words in Dwarvish, and he says, Mardor
He's an earthly force. He's not beyond... He's beyond the
Correct.
authority of the Titan King. I understand, but I don't want to... I don't want to create problems for him by solving this problem for him, if you understand me.
I understand. I don't think it could be a problem.
All right. Then...
Your Zaratan agreed to this test of your metal.
Huh. Once he was already small.
No, he did that himself.
All right. I don't understand, but maybe I won't understand. All right.
I could try and explain better, I suppose.
I'll do it.
When you re-emerge on the prime material, open the bottle. The spell will be done. I don't know how well educated and common Princess Dato is.
I think there are some people at the Marigard who'll be able to help even if I can't. In terms of communicating. I'm good. I'm good. I mean, no, I'm going to learn the language. Like, it's very clearly a thing I'm going to do. I just, anyway, not important right now.
You have a weird attitude for a mortal.
Do I?
Or perhaps an energy about you. Maybe it's a prime material thing.
I want to do right. How old is she?
25 of your years.
All right. All right, I'll do it.
She will be glad to know this.
We'll fix this.
He says something in Primordial, and you feel the Zaratan tap your shoulder a couple times. Well done. Do you remember what I told you? Once we were complete.
Yes?
Do you remember how to get out?
Out of character, I don't. I bet Milos does. But it's been like 5 weeks.
It's been a long time. When you leave this room, simply try to go to sleep.
Right. All right.
And with that, the Zaratan hops off your shoulder and begins to walk towards the door. Slowly. Because it's a turtle. Guto watches this with mild amusement. I believe your Zaratan saw this as a test of metal. To see how strong of will you were.
I don't know how strong of will I am, but I wasn't gonna just not help.
When the diviner said there was a prime connection so close to the City of Jewels, I could not help but reach out. And I hope you do forgive me for the surprising circumstance of that.
It's like you didn't have a lot of options, for helping her.
No. The only other chance would have been some other traveler or merchant coming from the prime material, but they are greedy.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's my forgiveness you really need to worry about.
Do not worry. Should you never hear from me again, the Titan King decided I was to be dealt with.
You face that prospect with equanimity.
It is the life of a Dao.
I guess.
There are rewards and there are costs to our luxuries.
Milos kind of looks around the velvet and the just hangings in here, and he goes, I guess so.
A pleasant journey to you, Milos Orthandri.
What was the word again? Karate? Karate? Sorry, I said it wrong.
Karashte.
Karashte. I lost the shisht. Karashte, says Milos, having learned a word.
Yes, Karashte. One other thing. When Princess Dato emerges, tell her I said, Nuruk al-Dinasha.
Nuruk al-Dinasha.
Yes.
All right.
It will matter.
Kuruk al-Dinasha.
Nuruk.
Nuruk. All right. Sorry, this is not a language I speak, so Nuruk al-Dinasha.
Yes.
Got it.
Safe journey.
Thanks. This is going to be the weirdest lying down for a nap that I've ever done in my life. And Milos kind of stands up and scratches at the back of his neck and says, thank you for the hospitality, I guess. And he kind of bows
Of the limited exposure you've had to Tao, Guto is the first to bow back.
Well, he's been pretty polite this whole time, considering.
Mm-hmm.
And then Milos is going to go and try to find a quiet corner to curl up and try to go to sleep.
As you step outside, you see the massive form of a turtle over buildings.
That feels better.
And you will try and end the projection. It is as though you are being pulled through a strainer. It is not entirely pleasant, but it's also not, well, all that unusual. You remember feeling this way the first time, on your way in.
Through the astral plane.
You see the landscape of the plane of Earth rocketing past you. As the realm of stone hurtles away and you fly through the air, just through your mind's eye, you are suddenly pulled through the astral sea, through that portal, and then back and down, until you open your eyes, and you are in Tabernac's classroom. You are seated at one of the tables in the library. It's remarkably comfortable. There's been a number of cushions and poofs set up around you, and Tabernac is seated in human form at the end of the table next to you, and he has a book open. I don't know if you've seen Tabernac in human form yet. He is an old man. Well, not old. He looks to be about middling of age as a human, with brown hair that is balding on the top, and he has wide spectacles with a very trim goatee. And he looks over at you as you open your eyes and he says, our planar traveler has returned.
That's weird. How long was I out?
28 hours.
So time is the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Sometimes. It's hard to tell. Are you hungry?
Probably.
He slides a plate of cookies over to you. Your classmate, Dog, brought these for you.
Oh.
I tried one.
That.
They were very hard. But it's the thought that counts.
I mean, they're probably not made of rock, so...
Do you eat one?
Milos will take a cookie and start kind of cracking on it. Like,
it is definitely hard to eat, but once you get through the initial bite, they are just very, very crunchy. There's a recipe error here. But they are chocolate chips, so the chocolate chips they do a good job of softening it when you get to them. But it does work your jaw a little bit to soften the cookies enough to eat. The flavor is good, though.
Yeah, these would go with milk.
Before anything else,
Yeah?
I would like a report.
Right.
You can just say you tell him everything. You don't have to recap it all.
Milos takes a moment before he's like trying to organize his thoughts because he's trying to process and trying to figure out how to even tell the story. But then once he starts, he's able to give a fairly detailed report of what just happened to him.
Okay.
And it ends with as he pulls out the bottle and says, "And I guess I have a girl in a bottle."
Tavernak intently looks at the bottle, and then at you. Remarkable. But... well, no, just remarkable. I've not ever heard of any sort of ruse to get out of any royal engagement through such a means before, but there's a first time for everything, I suppose. So what is your plan now?
Well, I guess I'm gonna let her out of the bottle.
First, allow me to maybe see what sort of spell this is.
Sure. Is there a way to check if my soul has been nibbled on any?
Yes. That is a good... we will do that first. Don't move.
All right.
Tavernak reaches over to you. He places a hand on your shoulder, and with his other hand he draws up an arcane focus, which is a giant blue crystal. And as he does, he looks at the crystal and at you, and you suddenly feel a of energy just pass through you from his fingertips. Nothing a good night's sleep won't repair.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure what happened. Thank you.
You are welcome. Now, let me see that bottle.
Milos will produce the bottle.
Tavernak casts Identify on it. After a long moment, he says, "There is indeed an Earth Genasi woman within this bottle. This bottle has a uniquely modified version of the arcane prison cast upon it, which is really a foreboding word for simply a spell that you can store a person within. I don't see the mechanism by which they planted it upon you, but I have to assume it was a sort of Galder's courier sort of spell. Whoever this individual has working with them is a potent magician. I suppose that shouldn't be surprising if it's royalty. Right. Should you open the bottle, you will release the arcane prison. From what I can tell, only a woman will appear.
Well, that's good. Be bad if it was a woman and, like, a bunch of hellhounds or something.
Agreed.
Should I do this here? Should I go...
I request you do it here in case there are booby traps that I can negate.
Well, all right. Here goes, then. Oh, do you speak Primordial? Because I don't.
Well, of course I do.
Well, good.
When you commute with the ancients and elementals, you should speak Primordial. It is of... I don't know why I'm lecturing you. You're not a wizard student. Yes.
I'm going to learn. I haven't
It's
yet.
fine. It's fine. Truly. I, for some reason, thought you were Halliwell for a moment. Go on and open the bottle.
All right. And Milos will open the bottle.
As you pour the cork off the bottle, The misty essence that was inside the bottle explodes outward like a fog cloud, and then immediately coalesces next to you on the floor, seated, crisscross applesauce, as if she was seated when it first happened, is a woman. A beautiful woman with dark skin and hair that is black as onyx, but laced with rivulets like lava. As she sits there, she looks up at you with eyes black and gold like more lava, and you see that her face is a mark of concern. And in Primordial, she says something, and Tabernac says, passphrase, passcode, password. Do you have a password? She's asking for.
Yes. Nuruk al Dinasha.
You see, she visibly relaxes.
I don't know what I just said, but that was what Guto told me to say.
You said Uncle always keeps his word.
Ah.
I assume
honestly,
that meant something.
Honestly, I feel better about it now.
The woman, looking between the two of you, in Primordial, says something, and Tabernac says, she does not speak common.
Milos will try Dwarvish, as he has been doing with every other Primordial speaker.
What do you speak? What do you say in Dwarvish?
I'm sorry, I don't speak Primordial.
In Dwarvish, she looks at you and she says, "Oh, you speak the trade languages, though. That'll do." And then she says, "Tabernac."
Yes. This is my friend, Tabernac.
Oh, who are you?
Milos looks so confused as he says this. My name's Milos. I guess I was your ride?
Oh, you are the traveler.
Yeah, that was me. So welcome to the Prime Material? I guess you're in the Marigard Academy right now?
She's looking around and she says, "It smells very light."
Smells...
Where's the Marigard Academy?
Oh, well, it's in Ferrum. You have no idea what that is.
No.
Maybe, have you seen a map of the Prime Material? We could find a map. I'm sure, Tabernac, I'm sure, has a map.
Tabernac does not appear to speak Dwarvish.
Oh,
He's sitting there watching you, just very curious.
Milos clears his throat and then says, in common, so she speaks Dwarvish. I don't speak Primordial. She doesn't know where we are. Do you have a map that we can show her where we are?
Yes. This way. He gestures over to a globe of amaranth. And Princess Dato stands up and follows. And you are shown the world of amaranth. And she is looking at it and she says, "What is all this?"
Oh, that's the water. Yeah, that's not in the Earth plane.
Water.
There's oceans here. Yeah, we're here, and he points at Ferrum on the map.
Okay. She's looking at it and she looks over at you. I don't see us.
Oh, yeah, this is the simulacrum. It's a much smaller, this is a very small version of the world, and so this is just a representation of where we are. I don't know how to show you where we are in a bigger way.
All right. So we're in Ferrum, and this is, what did you call it?
We're in the Marigard Academy. We're in Tabernacle's library in the Marigard Academy in Ferrum
And
on the
father
Prime Material Plane.
and my father cannot reach me here.
From what Guteau said, I guess I'm about the only way that there is a connection between the Earth plane and here.
She throws her arms around you and hugs you.
Ah, oh, okay. Milos kind of awkward hugs her back, like, what is happening?
She seems extremely relieved to hear that.
So, hi. Yeah, I'm Milos. Your Highness?
I don't want to be a princess anymore. I'm just Dato.
Dato, okay. Do you know where you want to be besides not there?
I want to see everything. I want to see the world like I read about.
All right.
I want to know what it is that makes people tick.
Oh, you and me both, sister. I don't know what makes people tick. I'm sorry.
What did you call it? You see, she's like struggling for a word, and she says, "You do things, and people give you money."
Trade?
No, I know
Work?
trade. Work. I want to work.
Oh, all
I want
right.
to be outside, and I want to work, and I want to smell the air that's not beneath the earth.
Well, I can take you outside right now.
Yes, take me outside.
And then maybe we'll see about finding you some work.
Okay. She seems very excited about this.
So, this way, Tabernacle, she wants to see air outside. So I'm just going to take her out in the courtyard, I think, and then...
Be careful. We don't know everything about her.
I know absolutely nothing.
By
I know her
everything, I
name.
meant anything. So be careful.
Right. So this way,
She follows you.
Milos will guide her out of the library and through the hall out towards the courtyard. So if you want...
some context real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Dato is wearing royal regalia
Yeah.
of the Titan King's court. And so she's wearing a long platinum white dress that is, it's basically like a pencil dress with gold bands that surround her neck and arms. There's no sleeves on the dress. It's like at the where the sleeve begins is this gold band, and all sorts of symbolism all across above the cleavage. It's a very ornate, ridiculously expensive looking dress. But she moves fairly freely in it as she follows you. Persh looks up and says, "What? Who's this then? She never came through the front door."
That is true. She was in my pocket in a bottle.
What? What?
So, conducting all of this in Dwarvish, because this is a language that both Persh and Dato speak, Milos introduces them by saying, "This is Dato. Tabernacle helped me rescue her, I guess. And Dato, this is Persh. He works here. He keeps track of all of the comings and goings of people going in and out of the Marigard Academy.
Which is important because you did not come in the normal way."
So we're making sure to introduce you now.
Dato, wide-eyed and smiling, just nods and is like, "Yeah, sure," agreeing with whatever's happening. Persh like folds the parchment he was working with to the side, picks up a new sheet, and begins making a note. And he says, "Right, okay."
From the Earth plane.
Uh-huh.
Not going back to the Earth plane.
All right. What's your name? again. And she says, Dato. And Perse says, anything else? Just Dato?
I think we're gonna leave it at just Dato for now, Persh.
Alright. Dato. To a stranger. Alright. And he just basically pointedly hides behind his brow as he goes back to working on parchment. And Dato looks at you with a beaming smile and says, I'm free, alright? Outside?
Yeah, outside. Let's go.
She says, wait, can I open the door?
Be my guest.
And she runs past you and throws open the door and then holds it open for you. And she says, haha, never before. Okay.
They never let you open a door?
They never let me dress myself, let alone open a door.
Okay. All right.
And then
you're gonna
you realize
to do that
she's
too.
looking outside, and she is staring straight at the suns, Pyrrhus and Tyrrhus. And she's just...
Those can hurt your eyes.
Her eyes are beginning to water as she's staring at them, and she says, they're beautiful?
The sky
Why
is
does
amazing.
It hurt? Oh.
The light is going to hurt your eyes.
It takes a good 10 seconds before she finally closes her eyes and rubs them.
Yeah, you can go blind if you do that too long.
Oh. That's amazing. Back home, the lights could never hurt you.
Yeah, they probably were designed to not reach the intensity of suns.
That's brilliant. And she keeps looking up at them again and then looking away before they hurt anymore.
Yeah, come here. Let's go walk in the grass.
She follows
never had
you.
Grass. So.
No, she has not. And she sees the courtyard of the Maryguard Academy with literally brand new eyes. Someone who's never seen grass or plants or wildlife before is looking around with her arms spread out, feeling the coolness of the breeze on her skin. She looks around in wonder, childlike wonder as she looks around, and then after a good 5 minutes, she just flops onto her back.
Milos is going to sit down beside her, cross-legged on the ground. And he's going to start fiddling with a couple of grass stems. And he's going to say, so, we've been inside, we've been outside, we've looked at the sun.
I want to see everything there is.
Everything is a tall order. We've got to get, some priorities here.
Okay. What do you have in mind?
You tell me. What have you read about? What do you want to do?
You see she's, lost for the possibilities. She eventually says, I want to try ice cream.
We can do that. We can make that happen.
I want to try ice cream, and I want to dance. And I want to buy something that I don't have to worry about getting dirty, and I want to kiss someone.
All right. I'm pretty sure we can accomplish most of that list today. Let's... I'm gonna get you a spare shirt. I'm pretty sure that you could buy the town with your dress. So I'm gonna give you a spare shirt so that we can go shopping. All right?
Okay. You're very kind. I didn't even have to ask you for these.
I guess I don't feel that kind. I feel like it would be inhuman to not help under these circumstances. I mean, I dragged you into this. I guess I can't say it's a mess. Nothing has happened yet, but
I think I dragged you into this.
That's fair.
So thank you.
You were in a bottle at the time. I mean, it's not like you decided that it was me. Anyway,
she doesn't really know how to answer.
He kind of rubs at his beard. I kind of don't want to leave you alone here.
I'll come with you. I want to see what's there too.
All right. Well, I was just gonna go to my room and get you a spare shirt.
Can I see your room?
It's really boring, but sure.
Nothing's
Sure.
boring.
All right.
Everything's so much
Nothing.
shorter here. I can
Yeah.
see the sky. There is a sky.
All right. Yeah. This way.
And she follows you. Like,
Kind of
just
Jeff
eyes
Goldblum
wild.
dithering through
Yeah,
the
very much.
through the.
She stops when you get into the lobby and she's looking at all the paintings. And as she looks at them, she says, "Who are all these? Are these mortals? Are these humans? They're all so different."
Oh yeah. Those are the professors here. This is an academy, so we train here to become mercenaries
I need
to
to roll
do
a
stuff.
die. Funnily enough, you see that she has gravitated toward the dark featured portrait of Elise. And she has her finger on the frame of the portrait and she says, "Who's she? She's beautiful."
He is. That's Elise. She's my teacher.
What does she teach you?
Well, mostly at this point we're working on. Milo stops and he thinks about it. Not tying my tongue in a knot when I talk to people.
Oh, yeah, I think you're very affluent.
I'm working on it.
Okay. She just
Um,
it like goes back to looking at the paintings.
I ended up in this arrangement with my patron, and I needed help to learn how to.
Oh, your patron, the Zartan, Narzul.
He's yeah, he's very special, and I didn't know anything.
He can see all of time. At least that's what Father says.
I can about see 5 minutes, so it's a lot, yeah. And Elise is very experienced in I don't know, life and everything, and she's helping me learn the magic and the way of going forward.
And she's like turns from the painting and says, "Okay, show me
What am I show you what?
your room."
Oh, right, this way.
She follows you, and as you make your way to your room, she is looking through every door. Like every chance she gets, she opens a door, and a couple of them they open
have
up to.
people-
Well, they have
like-
people, but also a
Yeah.
couple of them. Like she opens the Rangers Sanctuary, and it opens up into the Skywood,
Forest.
and she
Yeah.
says, "How?" As she's looking out.
Magic. That I don't actually know the answer to that besides magic, but magic.
This place is amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot here. It's nothing like where I grew up, I can tell you that.
There's no gold anywhere. There's no gems on the walls, but the place is so rich with wonder. As she's looking out into the forest.
A really charming way to put that. Yeah, there not a lot of gems. Not a lot of gems around.
As she closes the door, she looks at you and she has a frown on her face and she says, "I'm sick of gems.
Lots
I'm
of wood.
so tired of gems.
Got lots of wood.
I don't know what that is. I don't know that word."
Do you you don't have trees in the earth elemental plane. I was just there, there were no trees.
What is trees?
I'll show you. But first, I'm gonna get you a shirt.
Okay.
So Milos will take her to his room. And once at the room, he's going to pull out his spare shirt so that she can put it on over her very shiny dress. But also, he's going to pull out from his trunk the Jacob's ladder so that she can
Oh.
see something that is crafted from wood
Okay.
and play with it a little bit. He says, what he does is as he pulls it out, he says, "I bought this for it's a child's toy. It's nothing special for, but it's I bought this for my stepson, and I haven't had a chance to send it to him yet, but it's made of wood and it's crafted, so I thought that you might get a kick out of it." And he sort of holds it out to her.
She takes it, and as she looks at it, she like tilts it and immediately just toot, 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 and she just like her eyes go wide, and she immediately begins to spin it back and forth. The little step just and
Milos is just grinning watching this. Like,
she is like she's running her thumbs and fingertips across the texture, and she says, "Wood. This is wood."
Yeah. Local craftsman made it. There's a toy shop.
My father has a weapon with this for its handle. I didn't know that it's what it was. I thought it was a strange stone. Oh. I like this. And she continues clacking it up and down. May I borrow this?
Yeah.
And the word borrow, you see as she says it, she has to chase the word. She's not used to saying it.
Why don't you have that? I'll get another one for my kid.
You are a father too.
Yeah, but yeah.
You are much nicer than my father. And she tilts the Jacob's ladder again like as punctuation. Just toot, 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 toot.
Milos kind of laughs and ducks his head, and well, it sounds like your father has a lot of pride tied up in his family, and there's some men are like that, but
my father is terrible.
Well, I'm glad you're out of it.
I don't wish to talk about that right now.
All right.
Shirt.
Let's go shopping. And he sort of underhands the shirt to her, and it's just his spare shirt, so it's just,
She catches the shirt, and she kind of opens it and doesn't know what to do.
All right. We're gonna figure this out, all right? So you kind of pull it up, open, yeah?
I need to roll an intelligence check for her. She's not stupid, but she's never
no, she's not
dressed
stupid.
herself.
It's just never happened. She has no idea.
You make that gesture, and she holds up the tunic, and in her left hand she has the left sleeve, and in the right hand she has the bottom of the tunic.
Oh, so close. All right, we're very close. You see this part? Your arm's gonna go through this part. So on the other side, you've got another one that's just like it, right?
She
and so
looks
Milos
at
just starts trying to
it.
slowly talk her through putting his tunic on.
It doesn't take long before conceptually she clearly gets it, but she's never put on a shirt before. So she is struggling, and she does eventually get the shirt on over her head, but it's inside out. And so do you choose to leave it like that, or you tell her to fix it?
Milos is going to help her. He's like, all right, you got the mechanics, but we've got the garment on just a little off, and people might look at it a little odd. So let's just try one more time.
When you help the tunic on, your fingers do brush against the white gown that she's wearing. Your fingers do brush against the white gown that she's wearing, and it's cool to the touch. And you realize, you feel it on the tip of your fingertips.
That's platinum.
It's mithril.
Oh shit!
It is mithril threaded fabric. She's wearing a fortune right now.
Yeah. I mean, Milos used to be involved in looking for mithril to mine, so he knows exactly how much that shit is worth. And he's like, "Whew, boy."
It's the sort of thing that will knock you on your ass if you're not ready. But she pulls the tunic on, and it goes down just past her hips, and so she looks like she's wearing, what color tunic is it?
Black.
She's wearing a black tunic with a white skirt, basically.
Yeah, that'll work.
The problem then is the mithril slippers she's wearing.
Milos is like, I don't think I have any shoes that are gonna fit you. So that's fine. We're gonna go shopping. This is gonna work.
As she is going to roll an insight.
Oh, I have an idea. We can stop by stores and see if we can just get some leather boots.
Shopping, okay. I was never let to go do that.
And we're gonna go shopping. We're gonna get you some just normal clothes that could not buy a town, and some
What do you mean buy a town?
The material that your gown is made from is worth a lot in the prime material. Like, just trade wise, a lot of.
I don't care for it. Should we sell it?
Hold on to it for now. It might fund the beginning of whatever your work career turns out to be.
Okay.
If you decided to come to the Marigard, for example, I'm sure that you could trade it for.
That's where you work.
Yeah, that's where that's here. That's.
Well, you seem very nice.
Well, I'm just me. There's lots of people here. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but you got a lot of options. You got the entire world open in front of you. I don't want you to settle on the first thing that twigs your attention. So let's spend a little time in Ferrum and see what you decide you want to do.
She nods, and as the two of you begin to make your way down into Ferrum proper to start getting her outfitted in less outrageous clothes, that is where we're going to stop this session tonight.
Take our little, yeah.